Hi, this question is for Veronica. I was here a few years ago when you first were here with your book, when it was sold and bought and you knew it was going to be a film. How is it to be back here now with the film?
Man, it's crazy, because 2 years ago I did like a very brief little press conference and I was scared out of my mind. I was sitting at a table just like this and it was just me and I was like, okay, how's this gonna go? But this year it's just so exciting to have something to share with people and to have that something be so awesome, I think. Yeah, I'm really excited for everyone to see this footage and I'm excited for them to get to talk to these wonderful people, and it's all been great.
Hi, my name is JJ Duncan. I'm with Zimbio.com, and my question is for Veronica. One of the main things about the concept that jumps out to me is that in my high school, as in a lot of high schools, all the tables are sort of divided up at lunch tables, and the Divergent idea kind of struck me as similar to the high school being divided up like that. What table did you sit at in high school?
Oh, what a question. My high school wasn't one of those like easily dividable high schools. I was a nerd, I guess. Yeah. Yeah, it's good. This is a great place to be a nerd. I mean, Comic-Con? Yeah, bring it on.
Hi, this is Katie with Monday Moms, and I have a question for Shailene and for Theo. What is something that you guys admired about the characters you both played?
I had an affinity with the character from the very first time I read anything on it, because I liked, he was different to me because he had a very grounded, quiet sense of masculinity, which I don't think you see much these days, and it's kind of reminiscent of those, in my mind, his character, those old movie stars. I said to Neil, the kind of Paul Newmans, this strong sense of masculinity, but without having to show it, and with being watchful and intelligent, but also encompassing all those traits of someone with strength and a kind of common sense of, a strong sense of being. That was for me.
I really admire Triss's sense of selflessness. I know that she sort of grew up with that, and it was engraved into her at a very young age, but I think that is a trait that we could use a lot more of in the world today, and I think that, coupled with the bravery that she's sort of forced to call upon, makes for a really profound, complex human, and I really found her admirable in that way.
Hi, Sarah Kizak with the MacGuffin podcast. My question is for Theo. Obviously, not many people have probably heard about you prior to getting this. You were the foreigner flirt from Downton who made a tragic end.
What's Downton?
So what was it like coming into this with, really you weren't on anyone, at least fan-wise, radar for this character?
Wow, interesting question. It was good, actually, for me, because I came in late doors. They had been looking for a long time to kind of fulfill that spot, and they hadn't found anyone. And as soon as I kind of came in and I met Neil and I met Shay, it was a very natural fit, and it happened very quickly. And that is gratifying, because I kind of knew that they had invested in me and found something that they'd been looking for a long time, which is a good place to be in, because you feel safe and you feel gratified and wanted. And he's a tough character to find, I think, because he is young, but he's an old soul, and he has a lot of complexity. So it was good.
Hi, I'm Romancia from TV After Dark. This question is for Neil Berger. Like, how true, as a fan of the books, how true to the books is a movie to the book?
I think it's going to be very true to the book, actually. Obviously, a movie is a different beast than a book, and it's Are there like going to be a few surprises for fans?
What's that?
Are there going to be a few surprises for fans?
I think so. I think
4 is only in 2 scenes.
Yeah.
I play a small chihuahua. Oh. 4 because I have 4 feet.
No, but I think that was the great challenge of making this movie, was to try to fit as much of the book into it, because there's so many characters in the book that are, that have their function in the book and that are kind of beloved, and so many great set pieces, and too many really to fit into a movie. But we really worked hard to
to squeeze them all in and to kind of come up with an idea for a movie that was, even more fast-paced than usual and more kind of denser than usual with so many, there's 3 villains and there's, she's got a whole set of, friends, and there's her relationship with her parents and her relationship with Janine Matthews and with, it's real, there's a lot going on in the book, and there's going to be a lot going on in the movie, and that was the real, so it's very faithful to it. Obviously, certain things are kind of smoothed out or combined to make them, so there's sort of one kind of essential dramatic journey in the movie, whereas there might have been more kind of turns in the book, but it's pretty faithful.
Thank you.
Which is exciting, actually.
Quick question for Theo James. I'm a big fan, actually, of your singing. So I know you have a band. Are you going to be doing any of that lately?
I thought you were about to ask me to sing. I was like,
I was,
will.
but
No.
in reference to Divergent. Do you do that in Divergent? Okay, thank you.
Yes, no, that is part of my, yes, I do, on the side, I like to do that. That is kind of something I've done since I was very young, and I did music at college, and that's part of my thing. So yeah, and it's a good way to kind of purge yourself of one kind of work sphere and dive into something else.
It's an a cappella group, right?
Yeah, a cappella hip hop, Euro house beats. I just dance naked in red hot pants, but it's kind of.
Guys, only have time for 2 more questions. I think people already put their hands up.
You're ruining this panel.
Okay, so this is for Veronica.
Sorry, what?
I'm Kyle from Hypable, and I was just curious, when you were writing the book and you were like taking part of this whole process, is there any particular scene in the movie that was so familiar to the book in the way that you imagined it? Like, is there something special that you just loved that they did with the movie?
The scene that felt the most familiar was the Ferris wheel scene, because it was the Ferris wheel that is in Chicago that I wrote about. That Ferris wheel, they were climbing that Ferris wheel on the ladder that I researched to make sure it was there. And it was like, oh, this is exactly right. I mean, a lot of it felt very, very familiar because, as Neil said, I mean, it's very faithful. I was trying to think of pivotal scenes that had been cut the other day, and I was like, I don't really think I can remember any. So, yeah.
Joel Amos from Movie Fanatic. My question is for Shailene and Theo. Now that you've just finished filming, literally just the other day, and it may be hard to choose, but was there a best day on set, and what was it?
My favorite day was the fair. Well, there was a lot of good days, man, to be honest. But the Ferris wheel day was pretty special. It was a night shoot, and we climbed this Ferris wheel for probably 12 hours, 13 hours, 12 hours straight.
Yeah.
From
in the middle of the night.
In the middle of the night, and it was also it was the full moon, and it was the first super moon of the year, which I'm such a geek over.
And it was about 38 degrees out as well.
It was so beautiful, and we got to watch the moon go across. It was just a magical moment in life. And how often do you get to climb a Ferris wheel? You never do. So that was probably one of my favorite moments of life.
Wow, that's awesome. It was very special. I'd say mine was the kind of climatic scene of the movie is when Four has been put under this serum, and he's not himself. And Trist, she comes to basically, she comes to save the day, and then there's a fight scene between them, and then she essentially wakes him up through love. It sounds kind of, but it was a very powerful scene, and we were both sweating, and I had my hands round Shay's, I'm getting confused. They're so similar, around her neck, and there's this moment where we just connect, and it felt very real, and it's also a great way of adding emotionality to a big action set piece, and I think it's going to be a really beautiful part of the movie.
I agree.
All right. Thank you all very much.
Thanks,
and our
guys.
panelists, stand over here real quick for a photo for everyone down here.
Where are you going?
Talk to the audio guy real quick.
Yeah.